Hi, I'm Captain Monte with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report. Out here at the jetties when the weather is right, you can come out here. There have been black drum right here on this tip and that 29 to 32 foot of water. I've been using between 1.5 ounces and a 3-ounce weight with the number 3 Kell hook. I like some current coming through this tip right here. Not too strong, but a good current does help. Incoming tide really seems to turn them fish on. Live shrimp has been the ticket. Like I said, I've been putting that weight right on top of a number 3 Kell hook and dropping them straight down. Don't cast, just drop it straight down. And if you got a fish finder, you'll see the schools of fish just swimming around. They'll come in your screen, and they'll go out of the screen. Don't get discouraged. Just wait. Once they start eating, they'll eat pretty consistently as long as that school's in the area and you got bait down there. We've also been catching some slot reds on this side. A couple days ago, I've been seeing tarpon roll out here on top of all this menhaden. So right out here on this south tip, possible slot reds, been some bull reds. There have been big drum. There have been some slot drum. The drum that we've been catching between, 17 and 22, 23 inches. Good fish. A lot of menhaden out here. Out here on this North Jetty. Out here on this tip, on this deeper rocks right out here. About the same depth, you're looking at about 22 to 29 foot of water. I've been doing the same thing. Dropping 1.5 ounces of weight down. Live shrimp. Have been working real good on black drum and slot reds. Those of you that like to get out here first thing in the morning, you can free line just depending on how that current's ripping. If it's ripping pretty hard, put you a knocker weight on right on top of a number 3 Kell hook and throw it up here on these rocks and let it drift through. We've been catching trout out here also. There's been a lot of good fish hanging out here at the jetties. The kingfish, there's been a few kingfish being caught. There's been sharks out here. You can come out on the North Jetty and come back towards these rocks on the backside. You can throw live shrimp. You can free line them. You can throw croaker or piggies. There have been trout hanging off on these rocks. I've even caught a few sheephead here the last couple days. They're the smaller sheepheads, 15, 16 inches. But pretty surprising that I've been catching a few sheephead through here. On them real calm mornings, when the seas are, 0.5 to 1 footers, we've been running out here to the surf. There's been birds out here working this shoreline up on the banks. When you see them birds up on the banks, pull right in front of them. Live croaker. And what I like doing is wherever that water is breaking, when you see that white water, that is where you want to put the baits. So if you're anchored up, try not to anchor on top of the bar where it's breaking. Push out to the next bar and be able to get them lines over to the next bar and get them baits right there where it's breaking. Sometimes I'll use a 3/8 ounce weight right on top of a number 3 Kell hook, and that way I can get some distance on it. That's been working real good. Like I said, if you see the birds up on the bank, a lot of times there's bait right there with them birds, and you can work that area right through there. Redfish and trout. The closer you get to the bank, better the redfish. Little bit further out on that white water is where them trout are going to be. We've been running all the way down here close to the ranch house. Not that you have to run that far. There's fish even closer. But down here at the ranch house, there's some fences that come out on the banks. And every so often, all the way down to Cedar Bayou, you'll see some fences coming out. That's always been good areas to fish. If you haven't been out here, be cautious. Don't want no one to get their boats washed up on the beach. It's something that you need to work on and practice and just have, just be conscientious about what you're doing. Don't get in there too tight if you don't know if you've never been out there. So, but the white water is where you want to be. That's where you want the baits to be. And if you get them baits right up there in that white water, you're going to catch fish. You know, some mornings they bite fast. Some mornings we got to work it a little bit to get them going. But once you get them going, you should be able to find your fish. There's also been a few triple tails being caught up here on the beach. In the bays, they're getting pretty thick. There's a lot of small ones. Your triple tails got to be 17 inches, and you're allowed three per person. So know your bag limits. Don't need nobody getting no tickets. It's August. The winds are coming down. The surf is getting right. The bait is getting up here on the beach, and it's a great time to be out here. Those of you that like to surf fish, this is a good time to come out and get on the Jetty boat and get over there on the North Jetty. Or those of you that just want to come to the beach and do some camping, you know, the beach is a great time to be catching redfish, speckled trout, sharks, a lot of good fish all the way down the beaches right now. You know, we've been having a high tide in the mornings, and then mid-morning to at noon, the water's been dropping out. So, you know, if you're out here, you know, 10:30, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and the tide's out, you can actually see these oyster reefs sticking out of the water here next to the shrimp boat channel. That means that them fish are coming out of the flats and they're dropping off into your deeper water. So, like right here around South Bay, and this deeper water around South Bay, this is the time to you can get your deeper center console boats in this deeper water, right on that edge, and you're gonna catch redfish. You know, you can use live piggies, you can use your favorite cut baits, and a lot of the times, if you'll play the tides, you're gonna catch fish. Even over here in Moore's Cummings, like I said, when that tide drops out, which it's been dropping out mid-morning and later part of the afternoon, working these edges of this deeper cut around these oyster reefs right through here, redfish been pretty consistent. We've had a lot of bait coming into the bays, a lot of mullet, a lot of menhaden. So them fish, they're following them in. And if you'll work the edges on a low tide, you're going to catch fish. Now, if the water's up in the mornings, go trout fishing. Get your croakers, get your piggies. Go out there, do some freelining in the potholes in the flats. You'll catch your trout. And then that gives you time to get the sun to come up and let them reds and black drum start getting a little more active. When they do that, you're gonna wind up getting a good box. Out here between Con Brown and Rockport, working down, there's some bigger islands that's got rock piles on the left-hand side right here. I like using that on these low tides and working that for black drum and redfish. All these islands coming down the ICW on the left-hand side, you'll see them. They're big, tall islands. They got rocks on the bottom of the bases. And if you'll just bounce through there with some live shrimp or live piggies, you can catch black drum, redfish. Good time to be working the edges right now, especially when that water's down. Now, if the water is up, you can come back here on these islands, these spoil islands back here on the backside, and you can work these potholes right through here with jumbo dead shrimp or live shrimp, and you can catch redfish and black drum. There's a lot of grass through here. If you're using piggies or if you're using croakers or even live shrimp, try not to drag them too much. Let them set, you know. If you can see the potholes, work the potholes. That's the best thing to do is set them baits in them potholes, let them rest, and you'll have fish coming out of that grass and they'll get attacked. Out here on the old Causeway terminal on either side, this is a great time right now, black drum and redfish on both sides. Just be careful because in the middle there are rock piles and don't need anybody to knock their lower units off. So there's little guts on both sides of this old terminal. If you'll work it slow with your trolling motors, and you know, a lot of times you'll see the mud stir or you'll actually see the fish. Then you can kind of, you know, be in stealth mode and work them slowly. Out here on the Klondikes, this area right now is a great time to be on the Klondikes. Redfish and black drum. Depending where that tide's at, those of you in the skinny water boats don't have to worry about it. Us in them deeper V-hole boats, a little higher tide, and get up there as close to that reef as you possibly can. Get them baits right up on top of the reef. You'll catch good fish all through here. Also on a higher tide, you can kind of judge how your tides are. Back here in these little back lakes, all the way down from Corpus Christi Bayou, all the way down to Trout Bayou and these back lakes, a lot of bait coming in right now. And them fish are getting up shallow. They're getting up in this grass. And there's been good fish caught all on the backside of Trailer Island right now. Back over here on Piper Channel, coming into Island Moorings. If that tide is down, all the way from channel marker 18, all the way down to 24 where it bends right here. Black drum have been on the edges. Wait till the sun comes up, that 10:30. If you get up high on your console or get to the highest place of your boat and you can kind of work that edge with your trolling motors, you'll see them black drum. Back here at the docks, low tides, early in the morning, been redfish and black drum working these docks. You cannot tie up to the docks. You can use your trolling motors. You can throw baits all through here on these piers and docks. Good fish right through here. Back here on these back oyster reefs right back here, there have been black drum and redfish all through these little potholes through here. Over here at Poloni Island, and this deeper water right through here, and all these little potholes right through here in East Flats, bait's been coming in. There have been good fish all through here. Menhaden, you can throw menhaden. What I usually do is just cut the tails off, and pitch them out there free line and let them set. Good baits, good times. Cut mullet also been working real well also. You can come down here into Flato. Flato, especially on a low tide, there have been black drum mixed in with redfish through here. Best time is low tide and work the edges. This Flato is about 8 foot deep, but if you get on the edges and work this grass on the edge, you'll catch some good black drum and redfish. Live shrimp has been working. You can also use dead shrimp with just a lead head. That works just as well. Early in the morning, out here at the T-heads, there have been black drum, there have been mangrove snapper, there have been speckled trout. You can use live shrimp, free lining, or you can use live piggies or live perch also for your trout through here. But there have been redfish, black drum, mangrove snapper, and redfish all through here. You want a little water flow through here. You want it to kind of be calm. There's been good fish all out here in front of the basin. Out here in front of these concrete pillars right out here in front of the Causeway. Also been catching some pretty decent trout out here. There's some old railroad trestles out here in the front. Just be careful. You don't know where they're at. But all this area has been holding pretty good numbers of trout. As the sun comes up, you can come up underneath the bridge, especially when there's a tide really coming through here. There have been black drum and mangrove snappers and speckled trout. So good place to come up underneath the bridge, get out of the sun, catch some fish. It's best if there is a tide movement. Out here in Corpus Christi Bay on these gas wells, we've still been catching a lot of good fish out here. There have been speckled trout. There have been black drum. Seems like every one of these little gas platforms out here, they have been holding triple tail. Like I said, on the triple tail, got to be 17 inches. You're allowed 3 per person. Good fight and some of the finest eating that you're going to find. Speckled trout, freeline live shrimp, what I've been doing. They don't have to be the big shrimp. Small shrimps have been working real well. Live piggy's been working out here. Live croaker's been working. but it seems like I catch more on live shrimp. So if you can get your hands on some live shrimp, come out here, bounce around on these gas wells all the way back to Shamrock, and if you'll just work it slowly, you'll find a good box of fish. Some of these wells got rock pads on them, and they come off that well a good little ways. And if you'll come off the well, if you're right on the well throwing up against the legs, you'll catch speckled trout, you'll catch black drum, you'll catch triple tail. But sometimes if they're not right up on the platform, push out. Get away from that platform and work a little further out, a couple 100 yards. If you do that, you'll find these fish hanging off a little further out. There have been a lot of sand trout out here. There's no limit on sand trout, and there's been some pretty good ones out here. So you can catch sand trout, you can catch a speckled trout, and you can wind up catching, your black drum or triple tail or even an occasional redfish. There's been quite a few sharks out here, so those of you that have kids that haven't caught a shark, good place to come out here and catch them right now. Everybody be safe. Have a good week. See you next week. Thanks for watching. I'm Captain Monte.